Hello there.
Oh yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah, all right. Graham, sorry, yeah, we'll do. No, sorry,
No idea who you are, you see.
Yeah, hello, I'm Graham. I'm the local member of Parliament.
Graham?
Yeah.
And I'm Matthew Graham, the Police and Crime Commissioner.
Come in, cup of tea?
I want to have a cup of tea, thanks.
Yeah, but we'll...
Oh, come on in, come on in. Welcome to the environment camp.
Oh,
Take a seat.
very homely.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, we try to make it as warm, as comfortable as we can. Crime Commissioner, huh?
Yeah.
Not bad. And the local member of Parliament.
Yeah, that's right.
This is a turn up for the books. I don't normally get visitors of such stature. So, what brings you to this neck of the woods?
We were talking to a local resident who's got a few concerns about the difficulties that the whole thing is causing her.
Oh, yeah.
But one of her concerns is the problem that you as protesters bring.
Ah, stop there. I'm not a protester.
Oh, are you not?
No, there are no protesters here anymore. There is just me. I'm an environmental monitor working on behalf of the local community. I've been here since May, and my job and my role is to document the activities within the site and the impact on the surrounding area and the environment. I'm not a protester. There is no protesters here. You don't even need your police in and out. I've actually, I've got a great relationship with the local PLOs. They know. They obviously over the months they've stood their
PLOs?
police liaison officers.
Right.
They slowly downgraded the status here. Although we are still being monitored with rippers and we are still classed as terrorists. I used to work in the CCTV control room for some years, yes, and I was a security officer for well over 10 years. So I'm well versed with how things work. But the one thing that I'm not is a protester. I'm not here to obstruct, I'm not here to demonstrate, I'm purely here from an observatory point of view. And it's worked really well, because what we're doing is we're highlighting where the regulations need to be improved within the site. You know, I'm not an anti-fracker, although onshore drilling has absolutely no regulation at this time. The EA are completely pointless organisation. The Health and Safety are an exceptional firm. They've been out to see me because there was an incident with a rigger climbing around on the rig with no harness, no scaffold, and I had grave concerns for his safety. It was a very wet night, very dark night, and we videoed it, sent it off to HSE. They came down and visited, took a statement from me and my colleague who was here at the time, and hopefully, and now actually they're using a crane and a cage, and as you can see the scaffolding has now gone back up, because it's an easy make mistake. They took the scaffolding down, and a day after they took it down something went wrong, and some clever sod just went you know, but he has a wife and a kids, I've been assured. I would have hated to have been the one to tell him, or to show them the video of his death. So yeah, that's really my role here. It's not to demonstrate, it's not to impede. You know, I'm not. In fact, I'm doing my level best to see to it that protesters don't come here whilst the well is in the condition it's in, and lock themselves to gates or stop lorries coming in, because the well at this time is unsafe, and that is a problem. And the biggest problem we've got here is the lack of transparency from RAFA. You know, a local resident was here about a week and a half ago when they first brought in the well intervention equipment. I mean, the word itself, intervention, means there must be something wrong, and that's the second time it's been here. But the local resident that was with us at the time said, "Why are you still here? You're supposed to have gone now. Like, we're fed up with you. Go away." And he said, "We're just going to make the well safe and then we're leaving." That was it, you know. It was like, well, that denotes it's not safe. That means it must be dangerous. Well, we're getting nothing but lies from Rathlin, so I'm just going to document everything. And in fact, we've got a presentation tomorrow.
What lies have we done from Rathlin?
Well, first of all, they say the well isn't leaking and there is no odour coming from the place. There has been an absolutely dreadful smell of gas coming from here. Now, as we all know, methane doesn't smell. Well, let me just start at the beginning. They're not fracking here. I'm sick and tired of hearing people talk. In fact, I lambaste protesters for keeping on about it. Every time sometimes they turn up and they put their fracking signs out when they've got to take them all down again, because they're not fracking here. You know, they have provision to frack, and they have explored down there at 3,000 metres, but they capped it off. or maybe they've drilled down through it again because
they say that they haven't drilled as far as the Bowen Shale here.
They're lying. We watched we've watched the 10
Why would they lie about it?
Well,
Really, is it? I mean,
yeah, no,
they've done it. I mean, they've drilled to the shale at the other side. They said they've done that.
Yeah.
They said they haven't here. I mean, why would they bother lying? I mean, if they were caught out.
Yeah.
Imagine they were caught out. They've spent millions of pounds. They make a statement like that.
Yeah.
They would lose.
Well, there's several statements that they have made. I mean, they have drilled.
That's what I was trying to tease out. And
right. Well, they've drilled out to 3,200 metres here, which is the Bowen Shale level, and that's in their documentation. So why they're saying they haven't, I don't know. Or maybe, you might be reading about another side, but they've definitely drilled.
No, it was definitely this one. I was told this one. They have not actually drilled down to the Bowen.
No, they haven't. Because how can they be exploratory drilling? If they're not down there doing it. It's we counted the 10 metre pipes in and we counted the 10 metre pipes out, and there were 320 of them. Right, so it's 2,200 metres. But they did cap it off, and they're now working in between 1,500 and 1,700 metres, or they were. What we've got here is a problem with odour. Now, they won't call it gas, they call it odour. And what we've been... well, to me, anything that smells in the air and you can't see it is a bloody gas.
I tend to agree with you.
Yes. Yeah. And we've been at loggerheads over that. But the Environment Agency's regulations stipulate 3.2.1 that odour must not be of a level that is deemed to be pollution outside of the compound. And even your own officers under log 60 for this site have noted that the odour is absolutely overpowering. It's debilitating, up to a range of 2,000 metres away. Now that is a long way. It killed all the mice here at one point. We had mice running around here, 30 or 40 a day we'd see, and we documented the death of one mouse. We found the mouse not in very good state, and we documented it on video, and it seemed to be improving overnight, but in the morning took a turn for the worse. Called the RSPCA, they took it away. We've asked them to freeze the body so as we can, if necessary, do an autopsy and find out whether it was poison that killed it. Because we were all sick, we were irritable, we were nauseous, headaches, the local residents were exactly the same, the horses were coughing. One of the local residents phoned rattling Simon Taylor to complain yet again about the odour, and he said, "You're deluded woman." That was it, we lost our own. So we then firmly insisted on the Environment Agency.
What are the Environment Agency doing then? Have you made complaints to them?
Yes, when we originally got them down, they were very reluctant to talk to us. Again, they assumed we were protesters, whereas again we're not. But when they arrived, I made the initial incident log call on behalf of the community, and when they arrived, they spoke to security. They went right down to the end of the road, spoke to security some more, and then came back, and he totally ignored me and went in, spent an hour in there, and then came out. Now, I don't know where you're from, but if I call the police about an incident,
you go to the complainant.
You go to the complainant first, get the full details, then you go to the alleged assailant and take his counts, and then, if need be, you cart them off, or you stop whatever they're doing. You make them stop. The EA did exactly the opposite. They came here, they went in, they came back out. No action was taken, and after 72 hours, they have to close the log, which means they have to communicate with me. If I phone them, they have to tell me what action they took. They didn't communicate with me, so we got in touch with the Guardian, and John Vidal, from the senior environmental journalist, a friend of mine, he wrote an article. He did a very good article on the sickness we got it wrong, it's in the Yorkshire Wolds, but he soon corrected that.
Yeah, the Wolds.
Yeah, it's close enough. But he dumbed down the side of the agency's failings. In fact, he really obviously, there was obviously something that came from above, because our scathing attack on the EA's standards and the reason for their very existence was dumbed right down. So I had a bit of a row with him after that. But that forced the EA to act, and they shut this place for 7 days to get the problem addressed. Now we thought, great, that's it, they will address the problem. 7 days later, this place fired up again, and everything went back to work. But again, the odour returned. Heavy. The gas returned. It was very, very heavy in the air. Very heavy. They said, well, it will be in the proximity, because this guy's so close to it. It's not the point. It's still outside the compound. It's still against Environment Agency's regulations. The Environment Agency since then have been very lax. They come in, they're not trained for this.
They are a bit of a jack of all trades.
They don't.
Record with landfill is not brilliant.
Well, one of our local residents, Greg, who lives just over there, he's noted the air quality samplers on each corner, and he sent them pictures and said, well, you know, have you checked these? What are they? This is the EA. Well, they're air quality samples. How did you do? How could you have done your job in there if you don't check it? Do you know how? Are they calibrated? Don't know. You know, everything is like they're underfunded. Being fair to the Environment Agency, they are underfunded deliberately by the government, and they are understaffed. You know, so they're not. They are a jack of all trades, but in a situation like this, they need to be on the ball. You know, because I've learnt more in the last 4 months than they know, and they won't talk to me because they deem me a protester. So, but they're starting to come round to our way of thinking because I'm now badgering them on their social media sites with videos of what's happening here, saying, here you go, here's your evidence. And the covered stack where they're supposed to be flaring. The reason you have a covered stack is so you don't see any flames. If you had a normal oil rig stack, the sky would be orange for miles around, and I've been assured that by the covered stack senior technician. So you have a covered stack, and you're not supposed to see any flames. We've got 25-foot flames coming out of there at the night time. I can show you some great video of that. Yeah. Let me just grab that for you. I think I've left it up there, but I can certainly show you before you go. It's a covered stack is a square stack, 25 foot tall, and the flames are supposed to remain inside, and all the methane is supposed to be burnt off. The methane, when they drill a well, they must add mercaptan, which is the smell you smell in your gas, to make it noxious enough so that your body goes, oh, that's gas, and you then call the gas man. That's the smell we're smelling here, and you're smelling it before they burn off the gas, during they burn off the gas, after they burn off the gas. Even when there isn't a gas burn off for a couple of days, you're still smelling it in the air. So it's not coming from the covered stack. And I've stuck my neck out on quite a few occasions now, or publicly at meetings and on video, to say that this is one of the 5% of wells that leaks on completion. Yeah, 5% of the wells drilled in this leak on completion, 50% after 15 years. You know, so this is a very stupid industry. Not that I'm not politically minded on it, as I say, I'm not interested in fracking. I'm more interested in the fact that onshore drilling is very under-regulated and is unsafe at the moment. So this is what I'm trying to document, and we're going into the High Courts on the 5th.
Have there been any accidents from onshore drilling? Has anybody's house blown up because the gas has migrated and...
Not explosives, no, because obviously the methane to atmosphere ratio is way too big. Yeah, there's so much.
If it leaks out of the well, it can, because obviously with landfill sites you get methane migration that can go for hundreds of metres. And
because it's heavier than that.
Yeah, we had the water purification plant down south that blew up with the parish council years ago, didn't we? So.
Well, there hasn't been any explosions, there hasn't been any accidents. There has been sickness and illness in the communities, in the local communities, and you can talk to the people that have been ill. I'm going to say we have documented like the death of, well, I'll say that just in the gas release incident, you know, there was at least 30 or 40 mice running around here a day. Because obviously once you chop the fields down, they come out, they enter into the set-aside, which is why they call it a set-aside.
In what way is it dangerous? I mean, the mice died, but the human being...
it's not dangerous. It's not dangerous with regard to gas emissions, explosions. Although it has got an explosive, it is an explosive atmosphere. The dangers really, it's not dangerous to the locals with regard to having explosions happen. It's more a case of dangerous with regard to, well, let's give you an example. It's dangerous for the workers, as I say, one of them, they've been very slipshod working in there. The local communities...
but if there are accidents, then the Health and Safety Executive is...
Oh, they're on the ball. They are absolutely amazing. They've been down. They are investigating a concern of ours. We don't call it a complaint, and we don't call it a claim. We're not here to witch hunt people. We're here to make things better. And so they're investigating a concern of ours where a man managed to scale up, round and down that rig in 40 seconds flat, and he swears blind he was wearing a harness. But once the health and safety had come down, within 3 days of them doing a complete health and safety induction again, they were wearing harnesses, and it was conspicuous when they were wearing them because the carabiners were jangling, you could see the cabling. So for the entire 4 months...
Sticking with the dangerous thing, sorry to interrupt,
okay,
but I've got to go in a minute.
Sure.
Because you said that these onshore drilling is too dangerous. I'm just trying to get my head around.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, if they don't run proper procedures, just like on construction sites, I mean,
of course,
there's sites all over the country we get. But fortunately, overall, notwithstanding the fact there are still accidents, there's still a responsibility. We've actually got one of the best records.
Well,
compared to a lot
here's
of other places.
here's how the danger comes in. In summer, they brought this well intervention gear in for the first time. There was a few anti-frackers running around saying, "Oh, it's a well integrity failure." It wasn't. It was unexpected high pressure. Now this is the same unexpected high pressure that was found in the Fylde site in Lancashire that resulted in earthquakes. I consider that dangerous. But that resulted in that well being closed down completely, sealed shut, bam.
Yeah, and then they did a big investigation and they said that the earthquakes were sufficiently small to be relatively minor, and they didn't think... So again, sorry, I'm going to challenge you on this, but it doesn't sound to me the Fylde situation is not dangerous.
Okay, and then you have the well intervention kit coming back again. Now, when this well intervention kit came in, so did a firm called Schlumberger and Cordrilla. Now, Cordrilla took complete control of the platform. I videoed it all, and the only word we could describe for the night of work there was frantic. There was something wasn't right, and it was imminent. You wouldn't bring a competitor onto your site to deal with an issue unless it was something that they had experience with. And guess what? Who was the driller? It was a Fylde. So the danger lies in the fact that Rathlin aren't being transparent. Right? The danger is they are not telling the truth. They have now admitted to... originally there was no odour, no gas, we're all deluded. Then we have from the EA paperwork now saying that Rathlin have admitted they were releasing small quantities of gas unvented, which is illegal for a start. Yeah? But the fact that they've admitted that, and the EA has said, and now this practice has stopped. Well, it hasn't, because we're still smelling the smell. So either that well is leaking, and they don't want to admit it because their shareholders will pull the plug. People will just pull the money out. This basically is an operation. Rathlin is just a firm, and they bring in certain sections, and there's no one from Rathlin on there. So if you want to talk to Rathlin, there's no one here. You know, it's either the Barriott or Beacon or so on and so forth. But the reason it's dangerous is because Rathlin are not being transparent. That well is unsafe according to the well intervention guys that came in. So if it's unsafe, that means it's dangerous. Am I not right in thinking that?
Yeah, well, they identified a risk and they brought in specialist people to deal with it.
Yeah,
and they would say it is oil and gas exploration. It is fine. You know, no one has claimed it's risk-free. And so you can say, if there's risk, there is therefore danger. Therefore, it is dangerous. Therefore, it shouldn't happen. Well, I think that logic doesn't, fall down.
Well, unfortunately,
but it is risky, and they say so.
It's dangerous. It's not just risky. If something is unsafe and the thing is, if they're prepared to bend as many rules as they are that we're capturing on top of the ground, how many rules are they breaking at 1,500 metres that we can't see? Now the thing is, I speak really only for the local community, so I'm very wary about what I say because my personal feelings...
But you're not from the local community.
I'm a hired gun. They asked me to come in.
Matthew and I have we can speak for the local community because we've been elected by them.
Well, I've been elected by the locals here, and if you hang around long enough, they'll be here because they have a certain time that they all drop in to do their own bit of video recording and do. So one of them deals with planning for me, one of them deals with the East Riding Council, one of them's very good with health and safety, and used to be an exec there. I've had 2 independent verifications from an ex-water board executive and someone else come down and verify that the smell we are smelling is gas, and we're still smelling it even last night when they started flaring. The gas is there. What it means is it's not burning off. It's supposed to burn off, and if it's not going through there, it's coming out somewhere else. They know it, we know it.
That seems like a reasonable point.
Yeah.
We better go, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
Really
good to meet you.
Thank you.
Interesting. Yeah.
Well, what we'd like to see, obviously, is something done. We're going to have a little presentation tomorrow, and most of the local community is going to be here because what they have done is they've had a little bit they're a bit fed up with the lack of communication. Thank you very much. The lack of communication from Rathlin. In fact, the communication from Rathlin is actually, thank you, Tony, is actually, you know, abusive now towards some of the locals. They have a liaison meeting where now 2 of the very closest residents are not allowed to go because they're deemed protesters, just because they don't agree with the views of Rathlin or some of the stuff. How can you liaise if you can? Yeah, what's the point of filling a room full of yes men, sir? You know that doesn't work. Yeah. And there are issues here that are, once we get to the High Court on the 5th of December, we've got evidence of crop contamination from Ron's pea field over there.
How's the case coming about in High Court?
Oh, right, well, we see, up until the first 2 months we were here with permission of Simon Cayley. The moment we started documenting serious pollution issues, Rathlin approached Simon.
Is it Simon Cayley that sold them the land?
Leased them the land,
leased
yeah.
The land.
Okay. Yeah, as soon as we started documenting issues that were serious pollution issues, Rathlin approached Simon and said, here's 50 grand and a legal team, we want them gone. So of course then he started legal proceedings. So the eviction case, the reason we're putting forward that we're still here after being asked to leave and serve notice to leave is we are trespassing on the land to prevent a greater crime, and that crime, and there are several crimes involved there.
Just out of interest, if you're fighting a case with a £50,000 pot paid by Rathlin, who's paying yours?
It's no one. I've no barrister. I'm going in on my own with my witnesses.
Really?
Yeah.
Good lad.
I think this is why the judge likes the idea. The judge refused to pass the case off to someone else, and
I can't wait to see this in case law. You know,
it'll be interesting.
Rathlin versus Joe Public.
Yes. And the judge loves the idea because
where's it being?
This will be Kingston upon Hull combined courts. It's in the High Court on the 5th of December. Yeah, come along because the locals will be there. You should. A lot of the police officers that we've come to know and love around here are taking the day off to be there because they've actually encountered these issues. They started off by viewing us as the really bad guys, and they were down here every day, not harassing but robustly dealing or intimidating, should we call it off the record. But as the months have gone by, they've realised that we're actually the good guys and these are the bad guys. And all we're trying to do is bring the regulation up to where it should be. This industry isn't regulated, and as we all know, Cameron's favourite word is gold standard industry safety. Well, I'm here to say that's bollocks, and we're going to put it there. Thank you so much.
Really great to meet you. Thanks.
Cheers,
the information, in fact, lesson.
Don't forget the date, 5th of December. Look forward to seeing you there. Bye bye now.